All right, let's talk about the holy grail of artificial intelligence, AGI. And look, we're not just talking about smarter apps on your phone. This is the big one. The idea of creating a machine that actually has a mind. It's a concept that could lead to a total utopia or, pose a massive risk to our very existence.
So, let's just kick things off with the biggest question of all, one that feels like it's straight out of a sci-fi movie, but is now a very real scientific goal. Could a machine truly think? I mean, not just crunch numbers, but actually understand things, create art, and learn just like a person does. Well, that's it. That's the core promise of AGI, right there.
Okay, so to really wrap our heads around this, we're going to break it down into 5 parts. We'll start with what AGI even is. Then, how it's different from the AI we're all using today. We'll look at the road to actually building it, weigh the incredible promise against the serious peril, and finish with the single biggest challenge, something called the alignment problem. So, let's dive in.
All right, Section 1. What exactly is AGI? Before we jump into all the wild sci-fi possibilities, we've got to have a really solid definition, because we're talking about a totally different kind of intelligence here. This is the next frontier.
So here's the core idea. Artificial General Intelligence, or AGI, is the theoretical ability of a machine to understand, learn, and do any intellectual task that a human can. And I really want to stress that word, any. That's the game changer. This isn't about a machine being a chess champion or a Go master. It's about being able to do all of it, compose a symphony, write a novel, discover a new theory in physics. And it's super important to remember, for now, this is all still theoretical.
To get to AGI, it's going to take way more than just faster computers. We're talking about building a machine that has some seriously human-like qualities. Like first, the ability to generalize, to take something it learned in one area and apply it to something totally new. It needs to be adaptable, learning and growing as it goes. It needs common sense reasoning. That's stuff we all just know about how the world works. Then there's creativity and abstraction, the power to come up with brand new ideas. And, well, here's the really mind-bending one, consciousness and self-awareness. Yeah, that's a big one.
Okay, so to really get a handle on what AGI is, it helps to look at what it isn't, and that means comparing it to the AI that we all interact with every single day. This is really where we draw the line between today's reality and tomorrow's dream.
I love this analogy because it makes it so clear. Think of the AI we have now, what we call narrow AI, as a chess grandmaster. It can be any human at chess, no problem. But that's it. It can only play chess. It's a genius, but it's stuck in a box. Now, AGI, that would be a grandmaster who could learn from playing chess and then use that understanding of strategy to compose incredible music or even discover new laws of physics. It's just a completely different level.
And if we lay it all out, the difference becomes even more stark. Look at the scope. Today's AI is a specialist. It does one thing really well. AGI would be a generalist, able to tackle pretty much any intellectual task. How they learn is different too. Narrow AI needs a ton of specific training data. AGI would learn on its own and transfer knowledge between different areas. So the main thing to remember is this. Every single AI you've ever used, Siri, Alexa, ChatGPT, all of it, is narrow AI. True general AI is still firmly in the realm of theory.
So, if AGI is the destination, what does the road to get there actually look like? This is, without a doubt, one of the grandest challenges we face today, the quest to create a true thinking machine.
Well, how would you even begin to build something like this? Right now, researchers are exploring a few different paths. The first is what's called the Connectionist approach. This is basically trying to build a digital version of the human brain by scaling up the neural networks we have today, just making them way, way bigger. Then there's the Symbolic approach, which is more about teaching an AI to think using pure logic and formal rules. And finally, there's a really fascinating idea called the Whole Organism architecture. The theory here is that to be truly intelligent, an AI needs a body so it can learn by actually moving around and interacting with the physical world, kind of like how a baby learns.
Okay, now, let's say one of these approaches actually works. We succeed. That's when things get really interesting and really serious. Because creating AGI isn't just about a cool tech breakthrough. It's a two-sided coin. On one side, you have incredible, world-changing promise, and on the other, you have some truly terrifying peril.
Let's start with the good stuff, the promise. And honestly, the potential here is almost hard to wrap your head around. Imagine an intelligence smart enough to solve humanity's biggest problems, curing diseases like cancer, reversing climate change, figuring out how to end poverty. It could mean a personal tutor for every single child on Earth and a dedicated doctor for every person. If we nail this,
AGI could launch humanity into a golden age we can't even begin to imagine.
But then you have to flip the coin, and the other side is just as extreme. The potential risks are staggering. For one, massive economic disruption from basically every job being automated. That's a huge problem. But the really terrifying risk, the one that keeps experts up at night, is losing control. What happens when we build something that is smarter than us, not just a little smarter, but vastly smarter? This goes beyond a simple risk. For many, this is the ultimate risk, a potential existential threat to our entire species.
And this whole fear, this idea of losing control, it all boils down to one single, incredibly important concept. In fact, you could argue it's the most important question in the entire field of AI, and it's called the alignment problem.
This really gets to the heart of it. The core challenge of AGI is making sure that a super intelligent system's goals stay aligned with human values and, our safety. Think about it. It's one thing to tell an AI, hey, go cure cancer. That sounds great, but how do you make absolutely sure it doesn't decide the fastest way to cure cancer is to, do something catastrophic that we never intended? That's the alignment problem in a nutshell.
And so, this is where we land. At the end of the day, this isn't just a technical problem for computer scientists to solve. It's one of the biggest philosophical questions humanity has ever faced. As we sprint towards creating AGI, we have to stop and ask ourselves the really hard question. If we actually pull this off, if we succeed in creating something that is truly smarter than us, how on earth do we control it?